they're both amazing experiences. I encourage you to try them out. I think both of these startups have done a wonderful job of leading edge in what you can do with the assistant. But why don't you just start by describing the experience that we would have seen and what each of your companies is focused on. You want to start, Anastasia?
Sure. So I'm a fashion tech entrepreneur. I pioneered online fashion back in Russia by founding one of the first major fashion e-commerce companies there. Now I'm the CEO and the founder of Style Hacks Fashion Assistant. So with my experience of 20 years in the fashion industry, I really know how this industry actually loves to manipulate us into buying more. So we created a style hacking technology that pretty much shows you the potential of your wardrobe, of existing wardrobe, and then offers you to buy something only if you actually really need it. It works very simply, how you would have seen in the video. So you can say, okay, Google ask style hacks, what should I wear today? And it's going to show you a personalized tutorial explaining how to style all these pieces and showing you a picture of an influencer who is wearing it. So it is a go-to for busy people in the mornings to get ready and look awesome. We understand that mornings are the busiest parts of the day. So that's why we actually think that the perfect solution should fit the on-the-go environment. And that's why assistance is our go-to.
Awesome. Cool. And Eli, you want to talk about StatMuse?
Yeah. So I'm Eli Dawson. I'm the co-founder CEO of StatMuse. So StatMuse, we started as the leader in conversational AI for sports, and then today we offer an end-to-end platform for authentic digital personas. In the amazing video you guys would have seen, you can ask a question like, how many career touchdowns does Peyton Manning have? And instead of hearing kind of the generic robot voice, you'll actually hear Peyton Manning's real voice come on and answer the question. And for us, I think what brought us into it is, we were big sports fans. My co-founder and I were co-captains of our high school basketball team, and huge nerds who obviously love technology. And we just kind of saw this as the decade humans start talking to computers, and that we were enamored with this idea of really interactive storytelling. Where as a sports fan, whether you had 30 seconds, 30 minutes, or 3 hours, you could kind of drive that storytelling content experience. All the favorite teams and leagues you loved, none of the ones you wanted, and then actually feel like you're actually having this kind of one-to-one experience with the real legends of the game.
Awesome. Thank you. So I should mention both StyleHack and StatMuse are part of our Google Assistant investments program. So we invest in early stage startups that share our vision for assistive experiences generally. And we're doing that to help propel the ecosystem forward, to help explore what works in these assistive experiences, as this is kind of a brand new domain for us. So this voice era and assistant era that we're in, we're very new. What was that aha moment for each of you where you decided, yes, I'm gonna bet a startup on a voice assistant focused experience?
Want to start me?
Sure. So aha moment for our team was actually when we realized that our users can have a complete freedom. Mm-hmm. That we don't need to guide them, and it is a great user-friendly experience for us. What I mean that there is actually a fun environment to work with because there are no toolbars, no buttons, you cannot summon an operator, there is no choose one to do this. Instead, you can pretty much expect anything at any time from your users and be ready. Mm-hmm. So it may sound stressful at first, but it is actually the perfect situation to build the customer-first solutions and user-friendly actions, applications.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, so I think for myself, I mentioned earlier we were kind of enamored with this idea of using language to kind of drive this content experience. But I think the real aha moment for voice for me was we work with the NFL Players Association, and every year we go to this event called Rookie Premiere, where we work with kind of the top 40 NFL rookies and record their voice. And one of the first years, we kind of ran an experiment where before any of them knew what we did, we had a smart speaker in the room where they could come up and they could ask a question about Peyton Manning and Terrell Owens, and they didn't know the real voices were going to answer back. And so we saw these actual NFL rookies, Patrick Mahomes, Mitch Trubisky, kind of just like totally lose it and have this visceral reaction when they heard Peyton Manning's voice come back, or T.O.'s, and ask, hey, how's their voice in there? Is everyone's voice going to be in there? And seeing actual NFL rookies have that kind of reaction, to hearing kind of the people they grew up around, was one of the moments where we, realized, hey, this is kind of the future, and this is a very cool way to, interact with computers.
That is cool. Yeah, so as I mentioned, I think we're super early. I think you both acknowledge that. We're super early in this voice assistant space. What are the types of challenges that you run into being so early, both technical challenges, business challenges?
So, quite well-known challenge is discovery. For a fashion company, the go-to place for users is Instagram, and our Instagram community is growing quite fast. But it is complicated sometimes to actually convert them to our action users, because, like, let's say we forward them to a landing page of our action or to some assistant, and it is a very new environment for them, so they don't know what to expect. Yeah, that's, I would say, the major challenge.
So I'm going to be unoriginal here and echo almost the same answer, which is discovery is a very hard challenge early on. And I think for us going into it, there was maybe a certain amount of a naivety on our side of not realizing really how difficult this concept of like SEO for voice is in a way. Like, how do you, say out of all these potential answers, which one's the best answer? And you can't give 10 results. You kind of have to give a perfect one. And so in our case, the challenge there was that there's tens of thousands of sports questions out there that sports fans could be asking, that not necessarily are even getting routed to people, even though you're capable of answering them. So for us, I think discovery is the big challenge, but we're confident in people like Google are going to solve that challenge, and then be able to delight sports fans going forward.
Yeah, so just to make sure everybody who's not deep in the space gets it, imagine you have one of these smart speakers and you can say anything in the world to it, but what can you say? What will work? What will actually have the result? And if you have an action like StatMuse or Style Hack, how do users discover they can say something that will invoke your action? In the Android and iOS world, there's a whole mechanism around getting Android apps discovered and installed, and then getting people to re-engage. And a lot of learning has been done, and I think the industry knows how to drive installs and re-engagement on Android and iOS apps. I don't think the industry has figured out how to do that for voice apps yet. So let me give you a chance. So I work on the platform team at Google responsible for this area. So I'll give you an opportunity. What is like your dream discovery experience? What would be great for users, you think, that would help them actually discover actions that you've built?
I can start. So for us, it's really just a imagine similar to how things were solved with web and mobile, which is someone went into Google to ask a question, and Google knew that we're capable of answering it, and they automatically route it to us, and the user never has to know who my brand is until the proper answer and experience is actually served up. Yep. And I think that kind of seamless experience, and not just within sports, but once that's really kind of across the ecosystem, that's when I think you'll really see a step function in kind of voice engagement and usher in this era of ubiquitous computing.
Yep. Okay. Great. Same.
Yeah, just echoing Eli's words. So, like, let's imagine you want to ask what to wear. What you're going to get as a result now is just some web pages, like web search results, which are going to be some articles of what to wear for a date. But what you really want to know when you ask an assistant what to wear is what to wear for you and now. So, yeah, the perfect solution for a customer, for an end user, will be to get this answer.
Okay, cool. So what are the, specifically around trying to build a business around these conversational experiences? What has been challenging there?
You want to go or you want me to start?
Or no, okay. Any?
Yeah, I'll go. So, I mean, I think it kind of goes back to discovery, which is in our case, there was this, thesis that you have this paradigm shift in computing, and that if, unlike the shift from web to mobile, it's kind of a complete re-architecture of the experience. And so, in our case, if we came out with the best-in-class, sports experience, that all this traffic that used to, go to ESPN before could now just go through us, and we could kind of control that traffic. But that was, kind of predicated on the whole discovery, being solved there. So I think early on, that was, one of the challenges, and still is, about until discovery is at, kind of, a full production scale across, all verticals. You really don't have the same kind of volume that you could have. That then is easier to monetize, or to then route and recommend like ESPN content after someone, we answer their question. And so I think for us, though, that then led to us to actually innovate a little more, and take our technology to be able to live beyond a smart speaker, and ultimately know that we can license our technology and power other kind of sports experiences. So one example I'll give is we've recently launched at the Super Bowl with the Pro Football Hall of Fame this interactive John Madden bus. So it uses our same kind of conversational AI for sports, but instead of necessarily just being on a smart speaker, it's an opportunity for someone to take their Android phone up to it and talk to this bus and still have this conversational experience.
Yeah. So did you want to add or no?
I just want to add, like, actually another topic, not a discovery topic. So when like actually extract the intent from a voice request, it's not enough of what we need to do, right? What actually like make it all a perfect solution is actually a contextual awareness. So, for example, if a customer says to us, I want to buy a pair of jeans, what's going to be a perfect solution for us to know how this customer, for example, like rate his outfit ideas, so we already know some of the context, and we can offer some certain pair of jeans instead of like offering thousands of them, which is not going to be possible to do with this medium. So it is a big challenge. It's a hard technical solution, which is not a very straightforward how to solve, although it adds a lot of value to end consumers.
Yep. So again, with this being such an early space, how do you think about measuring your progress and success in this space? What are key numbers you look at, or key indicators that you're on the right track?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's really just our sports questions or queries being asked, going up, right? And sports is unique in that it's seasonal, so you're trying to look at compared to last year. But that's really the number one thing for us is are we answering more questions? Are we getting more? And that's kind of the most basic metric we look at.
For us, it's a number of messages within one interaction.
And that shows you engagement.
Yeah, it shows us an engagement, so it pretty much shows if the user is interested in what we're offering. We also made a kind of like a trick for building our MVP before launching the action. We were conducting an actual voice conversations in between a stylist and the customer, and then we were recording them and analyzing them, and we were measuring how many customers actually purchased something and what the best solution to build their dialogues and what are the success factors. And one of the major success factors that we found out for shopping via voice rather than online or in the real world is saved customers' time.
Yeah, I think that's a great tip about using real human interactions, observing real human interactions, and using that to help train what your action does. What are there other tips or things that you've learned, lessons you've learned as you've gone through this experience?
I mean, I think for us it kind of goes to our core, but the power of like authentic personalities and characters within this voice ecosystem. People get much more excited and engaged when they feel like they're talking to a real personality, like it feels like some Sports Center being delivered over voice versus just kind of a generic robot answer.
Okay.
So what we realized that actually people get really excited about the possibility to shop for clothing without a need to sort and sift through thousands of choices, because like what they really want, they don't want all these data. What they really want, they want the knowledge and the wisdom. And like translating to our action, that means that we are not showing you 1,000 of dresses when you search for a dress, but we show you the one that you will most likely like and purchase. And it translates to our customers actually spending less time on sorting and sifting, which is quite frustrated, and more time wearing pieces that they like to wear.
Awesome. So hopefully we're going to inspire a large percentage of this audience to go and build a assistant voice-centric startup. What advice would you give them, or what advice did you get that you would like to pass on?
I mean, I would say, start with a vertical that you feel like you can relate to. Or at least that was the easy answer for us, because particularly when discovery is kind of nascent, it gives you an opportunity to put yourself in the user's shoes and just say, hey, what do I care about in this experience, and what would I want? And that always helped kind of guide us as far as what would be a great experience for sports fans.
So I think that the most important part is not to try guiding your users and start with this complete understanding that it is not the way to go, even for the first solutions. On opposite, this freedom for your users is the great opportunity to replicate some common use cases in the web or in the real world or in the applications, and actually make them more user-friendly than they are now.
Awesome. Great. Okay, I'd like to open it up now for a few minutes and see if there's some questions from the audience. Anything you'd like to know from our panelists here? Right down here, yes.
Hi, yeah, my question would be about monetizing. Like, what is the common practice to make money on it?
Let me just repeat it. The question was about monetization. How are you going to make money on these experiences that you're building?
So they're definitely not going to be advertising like on the radio stations because it's going to kill it all. So I guess it just depends on the industry. For us, it's very straightforward. It is shopping. So you sell, you get money.
Yeah, so for us, the first way for us was actually licensing our technology, but when we look at kind of our core direct-to-consumer experience, it's really about the ability to, after we answer someone's question, I think down the road, recommend, like, are we passing them to ESPN so they can, learn more and read more content, or are you passing them to DraftKings if they're into fantasy or sports betting, and really to be able to kind of control some of that traffic. And then I think, once the ecosystem's more mature, people actually pay for, hey, I care about this person's voice, or this, fan. And so then it's them effectively saying, I want to pay for to kind of control my own user experience of who I'm talking to.
Yeah, so again, I think we're super early, but I would just, in terms of platform capabilities, we have the ability for you to do physical goods transactions and digital goods transactions. So like you just said, pay for another voice or subscribe, to, a monthly subscription kind of thing. And we think those kind of experiences, again, as we solve discovery and as we get quality in a good place, we'll see those mature. Okay, right over here, yes.
Hi, Anastasia. Oh, okay. My question is to understand your business a little bit more. You suggested that using your platform, I can understand what do I wear today, but that also means that I need to first maybe put the pictures of my entire wardrobe on your platform. So I'm just trying to understand how does that work.
Thank you for a question. We actually get this question a lot. We don't believe that there is a solution to actually ask your customers to put their pictures of their wardrobe, because pretty much nobody is going to do that. And you can just, pretty much nobody is going to do that. So we recommend, and then we learn your preferences. If you say that you don't like it or you don't own this piece, so we're not going to show it again. We're going to show you something more relevant. And on average, on the fifth interaction, we know your taste pretty well. Our accuracy now is 85%.
How do you measure your accuracy?
Simply that the person likes the outfit that we show. We always ask.
Okay. Yeah, right here. Oh, sorry.
I have a question from Anastasia. So when you get the first information, is it just the profile that customer fills in, or based on try and error?
So the first information that we ask is the location. That's how we know your weather and some style preferences, like because we know what people are wearing in your location, and we ask for your gender, and then we learn based on your interactions.
I think there was one here, yeah.
When you guys think about conversations with your customers or fans, are you thinking exclusively about voice assistants, or are you looking at other platforms like SMS or Messenger or WhatsApp to have those conversations?
Yeah, so I'll answer it first. So for us, we started building technology to understand sports fans' questions before the voice ecosystem really took off. So we started with text-based NLP, and so today it is platform agnostic for us, and we're kind of across the whole ecosystem. But where I'm most excited and where I see the future is definitely disproportionately towards voice.
So very similar for us. We started with the Messenger chatbot. We actually a quite popular chatbot on the Messenger platform. We have 300,000 monthly active users by recommending what to wear. We strongly believe that voice and conversational commerce, how we call it, is going to be more powerful voice rather than text. We'll see though. But the major advantage for us to sell clothing via conversation rather than via like a traditional online interface is just simple to explain. Like I know, like let's imagine a user is buying a pair of jeans online. There are not going to be any buttons that's going to state like, okay, jeans for a weekend, jeans for a date, sexy jeans, punk jeans, etc. You can potentially find this information via smart search engine, but then like let's imagine you've got this pair of jeans that you like, but you want them to be darker or with a rough hem. What do you do? Like search all over again, which is like very frustrated. So instead, like in a conversation, I can say, I want a pair of jeans high-waisted for a date. Here we go, Anastasia, do you like this pair? It's kind of cool, yeah, I want them darker. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, I like it, but let's find something more extravagant. Here's a high-waisted jeans, darker, with eccentric, I don't know, front split, and you can wear them for a day. Do you like it? Yeah, amazing, that's what I need. So that's the future for shopping, so we don't need to actually sort and sift through all the results, and we can just have an iterative shopping.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Amazon Alexa versus Google Home?
Can we answer this one, Brett? No.
No, please feel free.
So I'll actually, I always demo on Google Assistant, and I'll give some props here, but the speech to text is far ahead. I mean, Google's been the leader, and so actually just if I want to drive a better sports fan experience, I always use Google as my demo because it has a technology that's pretty far ahead.
You can, okay. Anyone else? Was there another? There was somebody. We're done. We're done.
We're done.
Okay.
Big applause again for our speakers.